What's going on, guys? A lot of people have been asking me to start reacting to some of the gameplay online, whether that's in tournaments or just their individual replays. And so I decided to give it a shot today. And so I wanted to react to a quarterfinals match from the most recent Moral Attack Monthly 34 that just took place. If you haven't checked out my recap video talking about that event, you should definitely go and check that video out. I will have it linked in the description, so you can either watch that after this video or pause this video, check that out to see what decks entered and topped and all that good stuff, and then come back and watch this replay with me. I'm also going to potentially start if reacting to your guys' replays. So if you guys want to potentially be featured on the channel, I'll have the information in the description on how you can send me your replays and all that information of where to send it and stuff like that. So definitely go and check that out if you want the chance for me to potentially react to some of your replays. Again, there's going to be all the information in the video description, so definitely check that out. But again, this was a quarterfinals replay from the most recent Moral Attack Monthly. We have Molson Canadian versus ZSS Prime. Molson, I believe, was on Fire King Hands, and ZSS Prime was on Mermail. So let's get started on this match. So they do the rock, paper, scissors, shoot, and Molson Canadian wins, so they will be going first. And let's see, opening hands, we have Dark Hole, Onslaught of the Fire King, Solemn Warning, Blackhorn, and Garunix. And the opponent has Genix Controller, Abyss Lind, Title, another Lind, and Abyss Pike. So let's see, draw for turn, they draw Lance. They go and set the Warning, set the Blackhorn. Not the craziest opener, but I guess, having Onslaught as a follow-up for after the opponent puts a monster on board is pretty solid. And there's not really, you don't want to like overcommit here, especially since I would guess by this point, Molson knew that ZSS was on Mermail, which can definitely clear back row pretty easily. Like the Solemn Warning definitely is good against this. And in some ways, the Blackhorn is good, but not the strongest. And, them seeing the Pike plus like extra Lins and Title and stuff is very strong. They draw for turn and they draw Teus, which is really good here. They think for a second, they set the Lind, they don't want to overcommit, it seems, and they pass back here. He draws a Fire Hand, very good card. He goes for the Onslaught, summons a copy of Yaksha. If you guys don't know what this does, if a face-up Fire King monsters is destroyed by a card effect, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand, and then if this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can destroy one card in your hand or field. So this is actually really good because the Grunix is in hand, so that's really good, and, Onslaught will automatically destroy the Yaksha during the end phase. And then after that, they summon Firehand and go for Dweller. So yeah, they definitely knew what he was on already. He goes to battle phase, activates the effect, and runs over the Lind. Very good here. And then sets the Lance, which is also really strong because if they try to just summon something and walk over the Dweller to out it, there's the answer there. Draw Max C for turn. What was that? Sets the controller. Okay, just trying to stall out, hoping that maybe he'll go and use the Dweller in, say, draw or standby to actually get the material off. And let's see what happens. Summons Bear, attacks with Dweller, and crazy read right there that it wasn't another Lind or something to not even use that. But I guess having the warning just kind of sealed the deal there. And here they will attack with Bear and set a Tenki. Main phase 2, activate the Tenki, add Wolfbark. So Molson is in a great position here, really has just all the board presence. Sets one back to Molson, summons the Wolfbark, uses the effect, they chain Max C, summon back the Yaksha. Oh, he didn't even do anything else there. I just noticed that. Or, oh, he drew from Max C and then using the effect of the Bear to pop the set Lind, Lin uses the effect, he uses warning, and that is really good right there. Uses the effect to get another tanky, attacks with Wolfbark, attacks with Dweller, activates the tanky in main phase 2 to add a Barong. Very good there as well, just as a beater and as good follow-up if the board does get cleared. Being very careful with the Dweller here, which is good to see. Here they go for the Abystius and discard the title. They say it's okay, they summon it, they chain the Dweller. They add the Gund, summon Controller, and I'm guessing Leo here. Yep, Leo, which gets Blackhorned, and they just moved to game 2. Very, easy to figure that one at that point. There wasn't a whole lot that ZSS could do there. Molson really just had that on lock. The early Dweller plus the warning and the Blackhorn was just way too strong. But here we will see ZSS start. Opening hands for this game, again, the Garunix, Onslaught, MST, Firehand, and Tenki. And the opponent has Max C, Heavy Infantry, Undyne, MST, and a Lind. Draw for turn, they get a Salvage, so pretty decent opening hand. Obviously, not seeing any Teus isn't the greatest, but, having the Undyne is one of the best things you can have as a starter in this deck, especially when going first, so you're not, overcommitting with your Atlanteans or anything. So here they're going to go and use Undyne, send for cost the Dragoons, add the Controller, Dragoons effect, to add the Megalo, and what was that? They set the MST and pass, so he might be thinking that could be a sphere or something like that. So I'm curious to see if he just kind of holds the MST there, which probably would make sense. Draws the other Garunix, uses Onslaught, Chain Max C, goes again for Yaksha, just the basic stuff, activates Tenki, that gets MST'd. Interesting to MST that there, I guess maybe they were just trying to prevent a rank 4 there since the Dweller put so much work, and he figured if he doesn't have another monster that kind of just puts a stop to that, so yeah, interesting there. Goes and attacks over the Undyne, and then in the end phase allows the Yaksha to be destroyed, destroys the Garunix, and it's over to the opponent. Here in the standby phase, Garunix will activate, summoning itself back, and there's no other monsters to destroy. Garunix has the effect that once per turn during the next standby phase after this card was destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon it, and if you do, destroy all other monsters on the field, so, nothing else that can destroy there. And here they go for Megalo, discarding Megalo and Lind. I'm guessing Megalo effect here, yep, to add the Sphere. So very good that Molson held the MST. No reason to really blind it there anyways. Moving forward, they go for Salvage to add back the Lind that they discarded and the Undyne. Here, summon the Undyne, send for cost the title, add the Controller. Undyne effect, or not Undyne, title effect, banishing the Dragoons and the Lind from hand to summon back the title. Overlay for Big Eye. Oh, interesting. Use that to take the Garunix. Let's see. Attacks with the Undyne. Main phase 2, they set the Sphere. Big Eye, when it uses the effect, it can attack that turn. So just a note to keep there. And also, the monster, let me see. Yeah, okay. Nothing there, my bad. They draw for turn, they draw Skill Drain, which Fire King is really good with Skill Drain because most of their effects are graveyard effects, so it'll definitely hurt the opponent more. And here they summon Firehand, attack into the Big Eye. The Firehand triggers, popping the Garunix, which is funny, summoning Ice Hand, attacking into the Big Eye again. They activate the Sphere to summon Lind. They continue the attack, pop the Sphere, which pops the Lind, and the Firehand trigger, or the Ice Hand triggers summoning the Fire Hand, Lind triggers to summon the Pike. Activate Pike, discard Heavy Infantry, add a copy of Gund. Infantry will pop the Fire Hand. Fire Hand effect will pop the Big Eye. Summon the Ice Hand, which unfortunately there's no other back row, but he can still run over the Undyne here. Main phase 2, set the skill drain, pass, he draws Sphere, standby, the Garunix will summon back. Garunix will pop the Pike and the Ice Hand. Obviously, Ice Hand doesn't trigger because it wasn't destroyed by opponent's effect, and there was no set back row, so moving along, they use the title again, banishing Undyne and the Infantry, summon the title, summon Controller, and here they're going to go for a Leo again. Yep. After that, they're going to make a Soul Charge play for 3. Okay, cool. Summoning back the title, Megalo, and Pike. Pike effect, discard the Gund. And add a Marksman, which is good. They, clear that back row. The Gund triggers to summon back a Megalo and make a Gaios. And here they set the Sphere. Interesting. Was there nothing else in Grave? Yeah, I guess all the levels were kind of awkward for Mermail, so it makes sense, I guess. I don't know, I guess there wasn't really a better play there. The Sphere can grab something else if they want to make a rank 4 later on, as long as this back row isn't, considerably anything real. They draw Warning, activate Skill Drain, they're thinking for a second, they chain the Gaios. I'm guessing to get the title in Graveyard here. Gaios has the effect that once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach a material from this card, negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls that have less attack than this card. The other thing, though, is the skill drain is also shutting off the Gaios that makes so 5 or higher monsters can't attack. So that could be good or bad because, obviously the Leo wouldn't be able to attack in this exact situation, or same with the Megalo, but also the Grunix wouldn't be able to attack here either. So doing that, yep. Attacks over the Megalo and sets the warning. In main phase 2, they go for the Sphere and then chain the MST just to pop it. They draw Undyne for turn, battle phase. Leo gets over the Garunix. Garunix activate to summon a Yaksha from deck. Pike over Yaksha. Yaksha triggers, destroying the other Garunix. And here the Gaios just swings in. Main phase 2, summon Undyne. Undyne dump the infantry, which will pop the skill drain, and that should be it for this game, I would assume. Draws bottomless, uses the Garunix. Oh, actually, very funny there, except this should still be able, the Gaios should be able to negate the Garunix. Yep. And yep, there we go, game 3. Molson will be starting this game. Opening hand, we have Yaksha, Crow, Onslaught, Skill Drain, and Garunix. The opponent has Lind, Sphere, Megalo, DD, Crow, and Gund. So looking at this, it's two, okay-ish hands. They're both a little awkward because, I want to say these are more grindy-ish hands in this exact situation, though. Having the Yaksha is going to put pressure right away, similar to how Lind will put a little bit of pressure right away. They both have Crow. Obviously, Crow is great against Mermail because when Undyne sends for cost, you can hit whatever they send. And Crow is good against the Fire King deck because you can hit the Garunix and, any of the other Fire King stuff you actually need. They draw Bear for turn, and here they set the Yaksha, set Skill Drain. Pass, they draw Controller. The unfortunate truth of Mermail always drawing Controller, but they want to play aggressive, so they summon the Lind. There's no real fear into one back row, and even if this is a Fire Hand or something, it's kind of irrelevant here. They attack, and the Yaksha triggers, destroying the Grunix in hand, and they set the Sphere. Pass it back, they draw another Yaksha, but in Standby the Grunix triggers, the DD Crow does come in here. Activating Onslaught to just summon another Grunix. Summon Bear, go to battle phase. The bear will walk over the Lind. And the bear triggers to set a Tenki. The Lind triggers to summon a Pike, which will probably discard this Gund. Yep. And add a Undyne. And then the Gund will trigger to add the Lind, and Grunix will just attack over that. Main phase 2. What did I just miss here? Is this... You can only use it... the once per turn on Lind. Okay. And then, yeah, main phase 2, Tenki. Add the Wolf Bark. And then the Grunix gets destroyed because the Onslaught destroys it during the end phase. And then Standby, the Grunix gets summoned, destroying everything else. They're thinking, yep, for the Sphere. Probably to summon a Lind here, yep. It resolves, a little misclick there it seems. The Lind goes, the skill drain is activated on the Lind. And they summon Megalo here. They, if they summoned anything else, even under skill drain, a lot of these are cost. So they could still pitch for cost, but looking at their hand, they don't have any Atlanteans they want to send or anything. So going for the Megalo is just a way to put a body on board, especially because they have the other Megalo here. So they could, in theory, like discard the Undyne and the Pike to summon this. They could also like go for Undyne or whatever and send for cost, whatever they really want to do here. Which, yep, they're going to go for the Undyne, send the Dragoons, add the Controller. And here on the cost, they can DD Crow, so this actually won't resolve. I can't tell you how many times I've played online, and people don't realize that in this format, if you DD Crow on a card being sent for cost, it won't resolve, because by the time that the effect actually is resolving, it's no longer in the place it was when it where it would have to activate. So here they are going to Crow the Dragoons. And also, yeah, the skill drain isn't going to allow them to add the Controller here. So they shuffle back the Controller, they DD Crowed to banish the Dragoon so they don't get the search there. Here they find the Ice Hand off the top, summon the Yaksha, and then just attack over. I think they did the damage reverse there. I don't know, my mic is kind of in the way right now. They draw a copy of Flying Sea. Interesting to see that in versus this deck. I guess they really didn't want the Dweller, which makes sense. Though if they get Garunix live, it's just going to clear this anyways. And they set Controller, and it's not looking good here. Summon the top deck Barong, which they chain the Flying Sea to. Obviously, there's a good situation because they would go for something like a Dweller or something, just in case this is, the third Lind? Yeah, in case it's the third Lind here. They attack, it's just the Controller, and they push in for quite a lot of damage. There's not many cards that are going to get them out of this situation. Also, somewhat weird to go for the Flying Sea when skill drain is up. Is this, the controller of this card cannot exceed summon? Would that not be negated by skill drain if I'm remembering? Because it doesn't say this can't be negated, but it also could be just condition. So there are some weird things similar to, I guess, cards like Quick Draw Synchron, where even if the effect would be negated, it's a condition of the card. So it means that they, for something like Quick Draw, you still have to use it for a monster that requires a Synchron tuner or whatever. So maybe that's the situation here. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know how out of all the years of playing H.A.T format, this scenario hasn't really ever come up for me. So a little interesting. If you know, definitely let me know in the comment section. That is a very weird interaction there. But here, I think they're just scooping it up, it seems. Yeah, there's no real getting out of that. So Molson Canadian wins that game. Again, this was, I believe, a quarterfinals match. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If there's any decks you want to see in the future for me to react to some gameplay, definitely let me know in the comments section. This was just the first run. I'm sure it'll go a lot smoother for me the more of these I actually do and get kind of used to it. And again, if you want the chance to be featured in one of these videos, you can send me your replays. Again, all that information is in the video description on how you can do that and all that good stuff. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like on the video, comment any questions or videos you want to see in the future, share this video with your friend, and yeah, all that good stuff. And I will see you in the next video.